Do you see a lot of supply pack in loadouts when you play with randoms? Many high-level players use it too. So why is it so common? Strong loadouts do not use the B1 supply pack because they are weak without it. They use it because it takes an already strong loadout and makes it even stronger. In this video, we are going to look at the strengths and downsides of the B1 supply pack and which loadouts become much stronger when you build around it. First, how do you get it? That part is simple. From level 1, you can buy the B1 supply pack from the ship management terminal for 4,000 requisition slips. It is a backpack stratagem. You call it down and equip it. So what does it actually do? If you press your use backpack function button, it gives you supplies. If you stand close to a teammate and press interact, it gives them supplies instead. And each use is very valuable. One pack gives the same amount as one supply box from a resupply pod. The backpack comes with 4 of these packs and you can actually see them on your back. And the only way to refill them is to take a supply box from a resupply pod. So on paper, the supply pack sounds very simple, but in practice it gives ammo, grenades, and stims in one button press, and that is a big reason why it adds so much consistency to a loadout. The supply pack is used so often because if you already have a strong loadout that is mainly limited by ammo, it makes that loadout much stronger. The first thing that comes to mind is your support weapon. A good example is the grenade launcher, but it is not just about your support weapon. The supply pack also refills reserve ammo for your primary and secondary, gives you stims, and gives you grenades too. So if your build has a strong grenade that you want to spam, or a support weapon whose main limitation is ammo, the supply pack solves that problem immediately, and the stim value matters a lot too. With that many extra stims, you can play much more aggressively and it becomes much harder to die. And it gets even better once you call down a resupply, because when you take a supply box, you are not just refilling yourself, you are also refilling the backpack. So in practice, one resupply gives you much more value than it normally would. In squad play, one player can also support the rest of the team very easily. You usually have so many resources that giving supplies to teammates is not a big sacrifice. So the supply pack does not just increase your own consistency, it can increase your squad's consistency too. This is especially useful when a teammate is using a weapon that already needs a backpack slot, like the new flamethrower, the cremator. You cannot use that setup yourself while carrying the supply pack, but you can help that teammate stay effective for much longer. But where the supply pack really shines is solo play. In solo, you often spend a lot more time moving, kiting, and trying to stay alive. And in those situations, you do not always get a good chance to stop and take supplies from a resupply pod. The supply pack fixes that problem. It lets you refill ammo, stims, and grenades while staying mobile. And this is one of the reasons it works on almost every front. The only place where it feels less necessary to me is the Illuminate. All of those missions happen on city maps where ammo is already much easier to find. And that is the real reason the supply pack gets used so often. It is not just extra ammo, it gives strong loadouts more uptime, more freedom, and much more room for mistakes. But the supply pack does have downsides. The biggest one is simple. It takes your backpack slot. That means you cannot use backpack weapons like the recoilless rifle or the maxi gun setups, and you also give up options like guard dogs or the shield generator pack. So with the supply pack, you are trading away other forms of protection, firepower, or utility. And if you are used to those tools, you may need to play a bit more carefully. There is also the team play side of it. To get full value, you need to pay attention to your teammates and know when they actually need supplies. So it is strong, but it is not always effortless to use perfectly. And finally, there are missions where the value just drops. On some maps, especially city maps, ammo is everywhere. In those situations, the supply pack can feel much less necessary. Loadouts become much stronger with the supply pack when the core of the build is already good but limited by ammo. I touched on this earlier, but that is really the pattern. If a weapon or grenade is strong on its own and the main thing holding it back is that you cannot use it often enough, the supply pack becomes extremely valuable. Good examples are weapons like the GL21, the railgun, the spear gun, and different machine guns. For secondaries, my personal favorite is the ultimatum, and this applies to grenades too. Thermite, stun grenades, and even arca grenades all become much stronger when you can afford to use them more freely. The supply pack also gets even better when you combine it with the right armor passive. Engineering kit is a great example because it lets you carry 2 extra grenades. Medkit is another strong one because it lets you carry 2 extra stims. So when you stack those benefits together, the supply pack does not just give you more resources, it makes the whole loadout much harder to run out of momentum with. Is the supply pack overpowered? Should it be nerfed? Is it broken? No. But jokes aside, the supply pack is still just a utility backpack. If your baseline loadout is weak, if you do not have enough firepower, or if your build depends too much on something like a shield pack or a guard dog, then the supply pack will not magically fix that, and it also has real risk. If you die carelessly and lose it in a bad spot, like inside a nest, you cannot just spam a new one instantly. You have to wait and call it down again. So the supply pack does not give you more raw firepower. What it does is make your firepower much more consistent. That is why I do not think it is overpowered. It is strong, but only if the loadout underneath it is already good. So what is the final verdict? The B1 supply pack is one of the best utility stratagems in the game, not because it gives you more raw damage and not because it is overpowered, but because it makes strong loadouts much more consistent. If your build is already good and its main weakness is ammo, grenades, or stim economy, the supply pack can push that build to another level. It is not for every setup, it has real downsides, and it does cost you your backpack slot, but if your loadout can fully use what it gives, the value is huge. So no, the supply pack is not broken. It is just one of the most efficient ways to make an already strong loadout feel complete. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to support the channel extra, you can also join as a member. There are 2 tiers, and if you want your name to appear on the support wall at the end of my videos, join the higher tier. Thanks for watching.